Okay, let's look at this question. Find the values of a constant h if a straight line x plus 2y equals h touches a circle x squared plus y squared minus 8x minus 10y plus 4h equals 0. As you can see that I want this straight line touch this circle. So you need to find a specific value of h to satisfy this condition. So let's see what's happened about this straight line. Suppose when you make this as a slope-intercept form, then you will find something like this. Y equals to 0.5 times x plus h over 2, or 0.5 times h. That means you can see that this is a straight line with the negative slope 0.5 and the y-intercept is moving. Okay, it just depends on the value of h. If the value of h increase, then the straight line will shift upward. Okay. If the value of h is decreasing, then the straight line will be shift downward. Of course, you can see that there's also a constant h here. Usually, this constant is controlling the radius, okay, the size of the circle. And you can see that the coefficient of x and coefficient of y, they are known constant. That means the center is fixed. So let's see what's happened. If I want this straight line touches this circle as a single point, that means when you solve these two equations, then you will only have a single set of solution x and y. So let's do it together. If I want to solve these two equations together, then you can use the simple substitution. Consider a straight line. You make x be the subject of the equation and then substitute into the equation of circle. Then you can find that is bracket h minus 2y all square plus y square minus 8 times bracket h minus 2y minus 10y plus 4h equal to 0. And next, you can see that this is a standard quadratic equation. The variable y, the maximum degree is 2 only, and h is a constant. Okay, so you can simplify this into a standard form. That is a format of ay squared plus by plus c equal to 0. So, doing the simplification, you will get 5y squared plus bracket 6 times 4hy plus bracket h squared minus 4h equal to 0. So here a is 5, b that is 6 minus 4h, c that is h squared minus 4h. As we know that the question told you that these two lines cut with each other. That means if you solve this system of equation, you will just have only a single solution. This equation, this quadratic equation, will only have a single solution. That means the discriminant of this quadratic equation equal to 0. So set up the equation b squared minus 4 times a times c equal to 0. And you just solve it, make it at a standard form of the quadratic equation of h now. But here, why we can change to this line, this one, there's a even number 6 and other even number 4. Take out as a common factor 2, but there's a square, so 2 squared, that is 4. And here you also have another factor 4 here, so just cancel these two. All terms divided by 4. This one divided by 4, you get 3 minus 2h all squared. This one divided by 4, you get 5 times something like this. Don't forget the right hand side. Luckily, that's 0. 0 divided by 4, you also get 0. Okay? And you expand the bracket and then make it as the h squared minus hx minus 9 equals 0. Then you solve h equals 9 or h equals negative 1. So look at the graph. When h equals to negative 1, then that is a black line and a black circle. As you can see, when h change, the position of the straight line and the position of circle will also change. the size of the circle also change. Okay, and when h equals to 9, the straight line that move upward, but the circle will decrease in size. But you can see that the center will always be here, 4, 5. Okay, no change. The center of these two circles are the same. It's just controlling the size of the circle. But when you solve h as 9 or -1, these two possible cases will also touch the circle. But that's the usual method to do this. In this question, you learn that if a straight line touch a circle, then the discriminant of quadratic equation after substitution is equal to 0. Okay, usually we use the equation of straight line substitute to the equation of the circle. And one more point, when you make this quadratic equation 5y squared plus 6 minus 4h times y plus 4h squared minus 4h equal to 0, this equation, the variable is y, the constant is h. What is the geometric meaning of solving this quadratic equation? That is, you are solving the intersecting point, the y coordinate of the intersecting point. Okay. Of course, when you make x be the subject, when you make y be the subject of this straight line, you substitute into the circle, then you will get something ax squared plus bx plus c. Then that equation will be solving the x coordinate of the quadratic of the intersecting point. That is the first method to do it. And the second method is, let's look at some powerful formula. Okay, go back to this question. You need to find the value of a constant h if this straight line touch the circle. And what does that mean? That means the distance between center to the straight line equals to radius. That's the key point. That's the way you set up the equation. But the problem is how to set up the equation by finding these two sides. First of all, you can find radius easily. Find center first. Center will be 4, 5. And how? First of all, you should simplify the equation of straight line, make the coefficient of x squared and coefficient of y squared be 1, and then use the coefficient of x divided by -2 and the coefficient of y divided by -2. Then you get 4, 5. That is the position of center. And how to find radius? That is the square of the x coordinate of center plus square of the y coordinate of center minus the constant term and the square root. That is the radius. And you can see that the radius of the circle is just barely controlled by h. The center is fixed. So you find the radius. But the problem is, how do we find the distance between center to a straight line? As you can see that when we talk about the distance between a single point to a straight line, we have a very useful formula. Distance between center to a straight line. Of course, we are talking about the shortest distance, okay? So the formula comes like this. That is the formula, okay? In the numerator, that is the standard form of the straight line. Now, when you change this one to x plus 2y minus h equal to 0, the coefficient of x, that is 1, coefficient of y, that is 2, and a constant term is -h. So this formula divided into two parts. The numerator is the format of the standard form of straight line. and x will be replaced by the point you want to find out. Okay, x is 4, and the y will be replaced by the point you want, that's 5, and the denominator is something like the format of the Pythagoras theorem, but inside these two numbers actually is the coefficient of x and the coefficient of y respectively. Now, how about these two straight lines? These two straight line means I just consider the magnitude of the number. We don't need to consider any negative number. We just want the magnitude because we are talking about the distance. Okay, that's a very useful formula. If you want to find the distance between a point to a straight line, then that is a very useful, powerful formula. You can apply directly. Now, you want the distance between the straight line to the center equal to the radius. So you just set these two are the same. And the problem is, how do we solve this? First of all, if you want to remove this sign, we call this sign as absolute value sign. Okay, so you can take square on both sides. When you take square on both sides, then left hand side that will become 41 minus h, and right hand side will become this fraction bracket square without the magnitude sign, the absolute value sign, because when you take a bracket square, it will always be non-negative number. So the effect of this absolute value sign will be cancelled. Then that's what you got. 41 minus h equals to 29 minus h over square root 5 bracket square. And 5 can be moved to here, times 41 minus h equals to 29 minus h bracket square. And hence, you can do the expansion now. 5 times 41, 205 minus 5h equals to, oh sorry, here I made a mistake. Okay, I would like to move back. Here, this will be 41 minus 4h. Okay, sorry, 41 minus 4h. There's a typo mistake, sorry. So here, 41 minus 4h equals to, again, bracket 29 minus h over square root 5 and then bracket square. So 5 times 41 minus 4h will equals to 29 minus h bracket square